salam sejahtera. Anda sedang menonton Awani Pagi bersama saya Naila Huda dan Gigi Ahmad. Dan setiap tahun pemain industri fashion, pemerhati fashion dan pengkritik malah peminat fashion juga sangat menanti-nantikan kehadiran Minggu Fashion Kuala Lumpur ataupun KL Fashion Week setiap tahun. Dan bukan sahaja meriah dengan hasil karya baru mereka fashion, tetapi setiap tetamu yang hadir juga berkarya dengan gaya mereka yang tersendiri bila mereka sendiri menghadiri KL Fashion Week ini. Dan tahun ini, Minggu Fashion Kuala Lumpur ataupun KL Fashion Week KLFW 2020 mencipta kelainan apabila acara itu bakal dijayakan sepenuhnya secara digital sebelum ia disiarkan mulai 11 hingga 13 November menerusi platform dalam talian.
Ya Naila, yang pasti acara berprestij itu tidak lari dari berhadapan dengan masalah pandemik dan juga krisis ekonomi ketika ini. Dan kita nak tahu bagaimana sebenarnya KL Fashion Week secara online ini diadakan dan bagaimana persiapan mereka fashion yang terlibat. Kita bersama dengan dua tetamu penting secara Skype, iaitu Andrew Tan, pengasas KL Fashion Week dan juga mereka fashion terkemuka Hatta Dolmat. Selamat pagi kepada kedua-duanya. Terima kasih kerana sudi bersama Awani Pagi.
Good morning.
Morning. Andrew, kita start dengan Andrew lah. Kita mulakan dengan Andrew. Andrew, di mana anda mendapat keberanian untuk mengadakan KL Fashion Week secara atas talian ini? Boleh ceritakan bagaimana bermulanya idea itu?
I started KL Fashion Week in the year 2013. Obviously, this year is supposed to be our 8th year. And we were supposed to celebrate it in a big way, celebrating 8th year of KL Fashion Week. And because of everything that has happened with the pandemic, we still managed to continue the platform, but in a digital way. But coming back to when I started in 2013, it is because way before 2013, there was so many there was not a proper fashion week platform. Basically, there were different organizers organizing different kind of fashion events, but nothing that is truly for the industry. And of course, I was just producing shows for these organizers. I knew what I see, and I felt for the designers, and I knew that we do not have the right platform that we need to present it to the world. So because I felt so strongly after by 2012, where I felt that there was the activation of people trying to organize fashion for the designers wasn't in the right way. I needed to take over. So I took over, reset, and created Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week.
So Andrew, how exactly will you have it online? I can't imagine. Will people be also watching front row from in front of their computers, or how?
Okay, let me tell everyone here who is watching. Please please follow our Instagram at KL Fashion Week. And then you will see the schedules that are launched, the shows that are launched. So we don't call it shows now, because it's digital. We call it episode. So obviously, with the episode, we're trying to also give that feel that they are actually just like our physical show. We have it for 5 days, but for this we have it for 3 days, and in 3 days we have it. Each day we would have different episodes, so we call it episodes instead of show time. So we have episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in that one we have that time. In that episode 2 we have this time. Episode 3. So we're trying to still give people that idea and that feel of how it was physically, because it's digital, because it's online, because it's on a screen. So we call it episode, and it's very exciting. I mean. It was at one point I felt I don't know what to do. After all these years, traditionally it's been physical, but we gathered a team who is all very young and had full energy on working digital. I had to go along with it. We knew we had to do it, and so if everyone that's watching this program, so please follow our Instagram at KL Fashion Week and you will see the whole activation, the schedules and everything else. I mean, basically, globally, as you can see, Paris, Milan, New York, London, all the fashion capitals of the world, not just that, Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific, all Fashion Week platforms are and designers are going digital.
Yep.
So obviously, for Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week, we must go digital. We are part of the global fashion industry because at this point, Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week is being watched, not just Malaysia, worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's quite a stress because there's so much people calling in, very excited, watching and wanting to know what the designers has to offer. I mean, this is our first. We are trying our best. I'm sure. To me, most importantly, is that I'm looking forward to 2021 already. And fashion has to be physical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, we are going to merge digital together. It also teaches us to be so involved in digitally online.
Ya, Hatta. Selamat pagi, Hatta. Ya, Hatta kita dah dengar apa yang dikatakan oleh Andrew. KL Fashion Week perlu bergerak secara digital pada tahun ini, nak atau tak nak kita berdepan dengan pandemik. Tapi bagaimana dengan persediaan yang dilakukan oleh Hatta? Adakah pada mulanya idea untuk melakukan secara atas talian ni rasa pelik tak untuk Hatta sebagai Breaker Fashion yang sudah biasa mempersembahkan fashion itu secara fizikal di atas persembahan fashion sebelum ini?
Memang kalau macam setiap kali kita tengok KL Fashion Week, dia buat secara fizikal dan perhimpunan untuk semua fashion lovers ataupun pecinta fashion untuk tengok koleksi mereka fashion apa pilihan mereka. Dia satu macam perhimpunan atau satu celebration. Tapi bila jadi macam pandemic situation, lepas tu dia memberi satu kesan kat kita semua mereka fashion. Bila kita dapat mula kita ingat KL Fashion Week tak ada, tapi bila KL Fashion Week dan Andrew team membuat inisiatif untuk buat secara digital. I really appreciate, as a fashion designer, kita really appreciate this effort untuk buat secara digital dan still nak teruskan Fashion Week sama macam peringkat global yang memang semuanya secara online. Tapi secara preparationnya, Mata boleh cakap kita bekerja lebih lagi. Rasa tim KL Fashion Week pun bekerja lebih sebab terpaksa membuat episod per episod dan collect semua documentation ataupun benda yang untuk dikeluarkan pada 3 hari nanti. Tetapi preparation ni panjang, termasuk juga Hatta. Tetapi kalau macam Hatta sendiri secara peribadi untuk preparation, Hatta buat Hatta ada juga buat macam episod awal. Hatta buat sustainable preparation untuk collection sustainable, benda yang baru. Jadi kalau benda yang baru ni kena buat diwawarkan lebih awal dan untuk orang tahu benda yang baru ni tak boleh waktu satu hari ni fashion show tu saja dan slot yang berapa minit tu saja. So perlu banyak lagi digital content dekat Instagram, dekat Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So banyak benda yang Hatta belajar sebenarnya.
Ya. Hatta, sama ada digital ataupun tak, pastinya Breaker Fashion tempatan kita masih lagi akan menampilkan koleksi yang terbaik mungkin. Bagi Hatta sendiri, apa kelainan, apa koleksi yang akan kita saksikan dalam masa terdekat ini?
Hatta boleh janjikan koleksi yang berlainan yang tak pernah Hatta buat sebelum ni dan Hatta mengambil isu global iaitu sustainable ataupun kita tahu di peringkat global Breaker Fashion semua sedang memperkatakan tentang isu sustainable yang mana menggunakan recycle material, kalau boleh macam ada yang koleksi-koleksi seperti kita tengok reuse ataupun menggunakan koleksi lama di peringkat design global. Tetapi Hatta ambil pendekatan untuk menggunakan fabric yang recycle daripada plastik botol yang Hatta dapat dari kerjasama Hatta dengan Cloth Care dan juga kerjasama Hatta juga SM Corp. Kita team up untuk buat this collection dan mendapat info dan juga demografi yang bertepatan untuk memberi awareness kepada semua pecinta fashion, semua rakyat di segenap lapisan masyarakat tentang betapa pentingnya untuk jaga alam kita selain daripada kita profession.
Ya, saya dah tengok dah koleksi harta yang diperbuat daripada botol plastik tu sangat menarik dan sangat unik. Dan Andrew, kalau kita nak cakap pasal cabaran, Andrew, what are the challenges in digitizing this very big event? Is it difficult to realize the idea of digitalizing KL Fashion Week?
To be honest, it is actually there's even more work on the digital platform because, like Hatta said, as you can see, we have to create lots of content. We have to put to and we have to. There's not content. It's about also that whole creativity. Coming from each and every individual designers that we have to look at, and of course we ourselves that also assist designers that are unable to put together the whole digital creativity. So we come in to help them. As usual, KL Fashion Week is a platform that always assists the designers. So when I look at the digital platform, it's a lot more work. It's actually very challenging because it's more. There's so much more to do. Like I said again, because there's so much of content that we need to create, and also seeing each and every individual's designers' collection, and from there you expand it. So it's actually quite challenging, but we gain the experience, and I'm sure we can. With that, with confidence, we look forward to the following year that we can always fine tune and make it even more exciting.
Ya, Hatta bercakap mengenai cabaran yang dihadapi oleh Hatta bila nak buat persembahan fashion secara digital. Mungkin boleh ceritakan kaedahnya yang digunakan. Adakah anda semua akan mengadakan persembahan fashion secara live ataupun bagaimana?
Sebab kan kita dah buat persediaan sebab macam Hatta sendiri atas terkait kemampuan dan juga pihak Andrew dan juga Kat Fashion memang nak bantu kita dari segi menyediakan episod untuk Hatta pada 13 hari bulan pukul 7 malam nanti, dan kita hanya perlu menyediakan baju saja, menyediakan baju, preparation dia menyediakan baju, tapi untuk Hatta sendiri macam cabaran dari segi mempersiapkan koleksi Kat Fashion Week adalah untuk memahami karakter fabrik yang recycle ni, bagaimana dia dicetak, apa hasilnya dan apa yang boleh dibuat lagi, apa yang boleh dibuat selain daripada baju, adakah aksesori, tag dan sebagainya, dan semua benda yang Hatta cakap ni boleh ditengok pada pukul 7 malam Jumaat 13 hari bulan. Kita cuba bawa benda yang baru macam tu.
Itu mungkin cabaran dari sudut penganjuran KL Fashion Week. Tapi selepas ini kita nak menelusuri sedikit perjalanan mereka fashion tempatan dan apa cabaran yang mereka hadapi sepanjang pandemik COVID-19 ini. Banyak lagi yang kami nak kongsikan, tapi kita akan berhenti rehat seketika, kembali selepas ini. Bertemu kembali di Awani Pagi, dan pastinya tiada siapa dan tiada industri yang terasing daripada impak pandemik COVID-19 ini. Dan pagi ini kami menceritakan tentang industri fashion tempatan dan terutamanya penganjuran KL Fashion Week dalam norma baharu yang diadakan secara maya. Dan kita nak teruskan perbincangan bersama dengan Andrew Tan, pengasas KL Fashion Week, dan juga bersama dengan Hatta Dolmat, Mereka Fashion. Andrew, we talked about the challenges in organizing the KL Fashion Week, but what about the challenges that have been faced by the entire local fashion industry thus far since the COVID-19 pandemic has landed in our country? What are the kind of challenges faced by the industry? Do you think there's been sort of a decrease in the demand for high fashion?
Okay, let's not talk about high fashion. I think we generally talk about retail. Retail has been so badly affected by the pandemic. So it is such a challenge for the designers and for us as the organizer for KL Fashion Week. Representing the designers is also a challenge. It's very disruptive, very, very disruptive, because at the end of the day, during this pandemic time, you don't really have that consumer engagement, and also that where people are trying to decide, okay, with the lockdown and everything that's happening, buying is a question. Whether or not to shop is a question. To see whether or not it's necessary to say that, okay, during this time I need to say that I should not, as a customer, I should not shop as much as I usually do because of what's happening. So it's such a challenge. It's very disruptive, and we are trying to balance the whole business aspects of retail. So I know for sure all our designers are very challenged, but with that challenge, they also need to see how they would like to be different, how they can see, how they have to create the differences in terms of the business part of selling their brands or their designer labels. So it depends. They have to be creative at this point of time. Obviously. During the pandemic, everything is about online, just not retail, everything else. So this is also where the designers has to be very engaged, But they need to think and see how they could, what they can produce that customer would want during this time. Yes.
Yeah. Hatta juga tidak boleh lari daripada krisis ekonomi dan juga krisis pandemik ketika ini. Siapa yang mengikuti Hatta mesti tahu ketika PKP dahulu Hatta terperangkap di Melaka dan tak dapat mengadakan koleksi raya pada tahun ini. Dan bagaimana sebenarnya boleh Hatta ceritakan, adakah sekarang ni Hatta melihat ada peningkatan dari segi sambutannya ketika ini, dari segi pembelian ketika ini?
3 bulan di Melaka atau memang tak apalah, kita rest je lah, sebab memang kita tak tahu apa keadaan sebenar, dan waktu awal pandemik kita semua dalam kebimbangan, ketakutan, tak tahu keadaan sebenarnya bagaimana. Tapi end up bulan 6 yang baru ni kita dah dapat bekerja semula di KL, dan dari itu dan hingga ke saat sebelum PKPB yang baru ini, kita memang rancak dan non-stop sebab tak ada masa untuk macam seleka, dan kita semua mereka fashion dan mereka fashion lain yang saya rasa memang betul really work hard, dan juga macam apa saja yang boleh buat, macam menggunakan keupayaan, bukan saja buat baju, buat sajalah benda lain, topeng muka, bag, aksesoris ataupun sebagainya. Macam Andrew cakap tadi, adakah di keadaan sekarang ni orang betul-betul nak shopping, dan adakah benda yang macam baju-baju yang sebenarnya adakah mereka perlu ataupun mereka dah ada dan mereka tidak perlu lagi. Jadi itulah kreativiti designer yang macam kita kena fikirkan, adakah penurunan harga ataupun package wedding yang turunkan, adakah buat collaboration ataupun collaboration dengan corporate company dan sebagainya. Tapi kena berfikir secara lebih lagi. Kalau ada bukan saja macam Kemahiran buat baju, kalau boleh masak, sekarang ni masaklah. Macam coach ke apa ke, just buat for the gain, untuk gain income for the untuk berada dalam keadaan pandemik sekarang yang kita tak tahu sampai bila.
Ya, Hatta bukan saja peringkat fashion tapi dalam masa yang sama merupakan seorang usahawan. Bagaimana Hatta melihat bantuan-bantuan yang telah diberikan setakat ini kepada usahawan-usahawan seperti Hatta yang merupakan pemain industri utama dalam industri fashion dan tekstil dalam negara? Adakah cukup atau bagaimana Hatta?
Terima kasih juga lah dekat kerajaan untuk mengadakan inisiatif tambahan, tetapi pada Hatta kita di Malaysia, kalau kita tengok diri kita saja, memang kita rasa kita rasa macam cukup. Tapi sebenarnya di luar sana, di luar sana mereka passion ataupun entrepreneur ataupun bisnes, orang yang membuat bisnes sebenarnya banyak, dan mereka semua ni terkesan. Dan kalau kita kata kita nak katakan cukup, sebenarnya memang tidak cukup sebenarnya. Bantuan-bantuan tambahan ni memang tidak cukup kalau kita nak depend pada kerajaan semata-mata. Tetapi ini adalah inisiatif kita sendiri juga. Tetapi kita tak menafikan yang semua bisnes terkesan, dan ada juga yang terpaksa tutup bisnes, berhentikan kerja. Tapi kita memang sedih dengan keadaan ni. Tapi kita tak nak keadaan ni berlaku dalam circle kita. Jadi kita buat yang terbaik untuk memantapkan apa yang boleh mengelakkan daripada untuk memberhentikan kerja ataupun keadaan seperti itu. Jadi macam kita membuat langkah macam mengenakan pre-order, jangan membuat ready stock yang banyak. Jadi benda-benda itu macam rasa kita tidak boleh jangka apa benda yang akan datang. Kita tak boleh nak kita tak boleh nak sesuatu yang kita jual tu boleh habis. Jadi kita cari pre-order. Itu yang Hatta buat sekarang, dan Hatta rasa benda itu lebih berkesan sebenarnya buat masa ini.
Yeah. Andrew, surely it's been a tough year for everyone, but moving forward, what do you foresee? Do you see better days ahead for the fashion industry?
Yes, of course, I always have to see better days ahead. I need to give that positivity to the Malaysian fashion industry, because I'm already looking forward to 2021, and we have to, because it's just how it is. Because the designer, their collection, it needs to be physically touched. It needs to be. You need to see its movement. You need to have people wearing a piece of the designers. You need to have buyers coming to their showroom for them to present their collection. So to me, I'm already looking forward to 2021, and I am very, very proud. Hatta, I need to tell you this, after seeing the preview of your collection and on the sustainable subject you are doing, I am so proud of you, because fashion, we need to be involved in the sustainability of that movement, especially when it comes to fashion. And the print that Hatta has designed this year, the monogram, the design itself, it's already, to me, I think, Hatta, this collection, I'm so excited, is because I see this already for 2021. You have evolved, so I'm very, very excited with the collection. So to me, it's about looking forward already, moving ahead already. Designers are challenged now, but we need to look at the positive side of what's to come.
Yeah. Andrew, maybe you can share some advice, not just for Hatta, but for all, more younger, up-and-coming designers. How are they going through the challenges faced during this pandemic? What are some advice that you can share for them and for, the better days ahead that you foresee? Maybe you can share a few tips for them to go through this during this period.
Sure. I've always been invited to be judging graduation and attending young designers' presentation. I have said, for young graduates, please do not even try to think to do your own brand. Do not even try to challenge yourself with the rest of the designers that are in the business. For young graduates or emerging designers that are trying to say, I want to put my brand out there, because it's not going to work. So my advice is, it's very important for each and every individual young graduates and emerging designers, think carefully. I always have said, you need to start from ground zero. You need to work with a fashion house. You need to work with a designer. You need to work with a fashion store. For example, H&M, Zara, even Cotton On. Something that you start from ground zero. You need to work like a sales assistant. You need to understand the business of retail, not trying to say, hey, because I want to be Hatta, or I want to be this designer, I want to be that designer. You cannot, not at this time. Even more so, when a young graduate comes out, I've always said they need to make sure that they go working, understanding the business, and only then you will tell yourself whether or not it is right for you to actually create or a brand for yourself. No, it's not that easy. So my advice is always to start from ground zero, learn as a sales assistant, work with different brands out there, like I said, fashion house or even departmental store, then understand what your customer need, not just doing what you feel like you're doing. Because I always ask a question to all these young designers: who is the woman or man that you are designing for. Because sometimes they show me sketches that is so, I guess it is totally not variable. To that point, I tell myself, who are you designing it for?
Yeah.
So that is where I have to guide them, mentor them, and make them understand the business of fashion. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew, last but not least, what's the most interesting about KL Fashion Week is the excitement, the presence of the industry players, the fashion enthusiasts, fashion watchers. But how you want to ensure the same excitement can be achieved while doing KL Fashion Week in online
Yeah,
platform?
just in short, we have just about 1 minute now.
Okay. Well, this is our first year. Let's see how it goes. We are also monitoring to see the excitement that has been built up. It is our first year. We want everybody to also give KL Fashion Week the opportunity and the chance to say that we are, one way or another, never failing to ensure that the platform continues. And here we are continuing it with KLFW Digital 2020.
Okay.
There you go.
Okey, Hatta mungkin apa mungkin nak dipesankan kepada peminat-peminat fashion di luar sana dan apa mungkin surprise yang mungkin Hatta boleh janjikan pada persembahan fashion pada 13 November ini?
Yang ingin menarik semua orang segenap lapisan masyarakat untuk tengok dan support di fashion industry. Kita kalau tak dapat shopping pun tak apa, tapi dengan support secara online macam ni pun dah cukup memberi kita semangat untuk terus membuat fashion di masa akan datang. Jadi kita tak nak harap macam digital KL Fashion Week digital ni macam akan berterusan begini, tapi kita harap di tahun depan akan ada sedikit, sebab fashion macam Andrew cakap memang perlu datang tengok, feel the baju apa benda semua, memang kena tengok dan kena hayati the baju dan the collection secara dekat. Dan tak harap semua orang boleh tengok KL Fashion Week dari 11 hingga 13 dan support semua mereka fashion, dan tak susah pun, through phone je sekarang ni boleh tengok, semuanya dah through phone, kat mana-mana korang ada pun korang boleh tengok dah KL Fashion Week. So tiada halangan, tiada apa, dan support saja dia. Dan apa yang saya boleh janjikan adalah sesuatu koleksi yang berlainan, yang sesuatu yang baru dalam industri atas bawah.
Baik, itu tadi. Terima kasih kita ucapkan kepada kedua-duanya, Andrew dan juga Hatta. Terima kasih bangun pagi untuk Awani Pagi pada hari ini. Anda dah dengar itu, Minggu Fashion Kuala Lumpur untuk tahun ini, Cipta Kelainan akan diadakan secara digital sepenuhnya mulai 11 hingga 13 November ini. Dan terima kasih kepada kedua tetamu. Itu saja yang boleh kami bawakan dalam Awani Pagi pada jam ini. Saya Gigi Ahmad.
Dan saya Naila Huda. Salam hormat.
Bye.